and get that going so we can share this out. So hi, everyone. Welcome to tonight's February Destination Bryan Adams meeting. My name is Lane Shannon, and I am a feeder parent. I've got a freshman at BA but when we started this whole thing, I think he was either in kindergarten or first grade at Hexter. And so we went on through to Hill and now BA. So the dream's working. Also my better half, Vicki Shannon, who's was our DBA president last year. She also supports the feeder as the talented and gifted teacher over at Hexter. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. And right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Lisa Vega and Mr. Richard Castle, who are our feeder executive directors, for their feeder updates.
Good evening, everyone. So Edie Castle, I will go first. And so I'm so excited to see everyone. And I am in my car. I am not driving, I promise. So my daughter is driving, but I am on. So Happy New Year. And so hopefully all of you had a safe holidays. And then also during the snowstorm, everybody was safe and warm. And so it's really great to see everybody. I do want to shout out all of our Bryan Adams elementary schools, all of our principals and all of our administrators and our teachers, our staff, our children and our parents are really thriving, coming back from the holiday break and really jumping into instruction and jumping into testing. I have to throw that out there, testing, and being very resilient with the children and making sure we are providing the needs, academic needs and social emotional needs for them. I do want to shout out that we do have 2 of our schools who have moved up to the next level for school choice. And so those schools will probably elaborate a little bit more on that specialty program for their school. And so moving up to the next round for the interview panel is the Bales Elementary and Reinhardt. So I'm going to get some snaps to them. And so we know we've had a lot of schools that are competing in order to bring special programs to their school. So we're very excited. So I'm hoping that they'll share out this evening. So that was short and sweet, Lane.
Perfect. All right, Mr. Castle.
All right.
Go ahead, Ms. Vega.
Yeah, one more thing. So I do wanted to add, and probably Edie Castle will be able to elaborate on the superintendent's community conversations that will be taking place, especially for our feeder. And so I can type that in the chat because that will be coming up around, I believe, in March. Edie Castle, is that correct? For our Bryan Adams feeder?
I need to look to see the exact date because I got about 4 of them because of all the high schools. So let me verify.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'll check on that too.
All right, thank you, Executive Director Vega, and we love your background. So happy Black History Month, February, so celebrating the legacy, and so we had a great training with our principals on Tuesday from our racial equity office as well, and so we're continuing to make sure as a district that our racial equity office is providing opportunities and additional training for not only our principals but our teachers, along with our SEL department to make sure that we're providing excellence and equity in all of our schools throughout the district. So just really proud of that. As we came back from the break and we've already weathered an ice storm, one of the things that I want to make sure that I really shout out is our assistant principals. I'm going to shout out our assistant principals and our teachers because they're probably the ones that deal with this the most. But as the Omicron variant hit, it really did take a toll in terms of the classrooms, at least for sure at the secondary level, in the sense that we had a lot of people out and teachers had to take other kids in and split classrooms, and the assistant principals had to split classrooms. And we kept school going. We stayed in person. And I believe we're coming on the back end of that. As I'm visiting campuses and talking with principals, the numbers have declined significantly. So just really want to make sure to shout them out because it has been It's definitely been a tough time. I think the ice storm may have hit at the right time in terms of giving people that 4-day weekend and get the energy back to get to this next level. But I also want to just share with you all some other things that are going on from our principals meeting that we had. We do have a 5-year, I don't want to say obligation, but a 5-year contract with the Holdsworth Group, which is an organization that is coming through a nonprofit through HEB, the grocery stores. And so you guys probably know about HEB, but they're also very big into donating into education. Well, the district, we do have a partnership with them for the next 5 years to continue to develop systems and leaders within the district to create the sustainability for years to come within our district from all of the great things that we've been doing, that we want to continue to keep that going and keep that momentum moving in that direction. And so this upcoming year, they're going to induct 12 principals into this training program. And then so I believe about 10 or so principals thereafter for the next 5 years. And then we'll provide additional training to principals for that purpose. And so that's all to be said that, you know, as a district, we're making great strides in a lot of areas, from our racial equity office to our OTI. You heard ED Vega saying we've got more schools going in. I know Gaston's on the verge of their application as well. From our OTI schools, our PTECs, those programs are continuing to really bolster and be strong across the district. But specifically in Bryan Adams, we have some real strong programs there. Our STEM programs are going to continue to work and flourish. And this really is that time where we make those choices. So going from elementary to middle school and from middle school to high school, this is when it really truly gets to become a real space where we want to make sure that we keep our students within our feeder patterns and we recognize the programs that each of our elementaries has, what our middle schools have, and then of course what our high school has. And so just really proud of the direction we're continuing to go. And just want you all to know we're here to continue to support. So Destination Bryan Adams, this is a place where ideas can ideate and can germinate within our entire feeder pattern. So just excited to hear from you all tonight. Great to see everybody. Looking forward to an amazing 2022 school year. And I'm glad that we're through the ice storm and hopefully on the other side of the pandemic as well. So good to see you all, Lane, and big shout out to Lane for being able to not only have a vision, but see the vision all the way through. Hats off to you, sir.
I sure appreciate it. Yeah, we're in this one together. So thank you. Great updates. Thanks to both of you for those. Moving right on to Mr. Dan Mitchke, our Dallas ISD District 3 trustee, who's got all the news that's fit to print for our DISD board updates.
Well, I do have some hot off the presses news for
Yes.
For Hexter. We do have a new date now for the redesign meeting for the new school, and that's going to be February the 28th at 6 p.m. and I'll be sending this out to everybody. The winter storm knocked both Hexter and Keast off the calendar, as well as our meeting. Thank you for accommodating us, Lane. And then you created a snowstorm which wiped out that Wednesday of last week. But Keast, I think I see Mr. Rubio on here. Keast will be on February the 15th. And I'll get that information out and post it on this page as well. I also want to thank Mr. Castle and Ms. Vega for updating everybody on the items that they spoke on, particularly Holdsworth and the leadership or innovation and transformation programs. Those things are going strong and they're being very well received inside the district and replicated around the country now. And the Leadership Academy, those of you who got on a little bit early, saw the portfolio defense that was recorded, which was just really amazing. And it's really great to see how that initial idea Mr. Castle was right there at in promoting and making this happen, and Mr. Bott and the entire BA team have really carried it through. But it's really an amazing program. So a couple of other things. We obviously are going to be doing a superintendent search after almost 13 years. Dr. Hinojosa will be retiring to do other things. We've been lucky that he has been such a dedicated public servant for a long time. And unlike a lot of the other superintendents who are leaving, he's not leaving for all of the noise about masks or all the noise about CRT. In fact, the board actually is the one that drove the racial equity policy, which is not CRT, and Dr. Hinojosa and his team has certainly done a good job in implementing that. But and with regard to the masks, although nobody likes the masks, we hope we'll be done with them in the very near future. 100% of the board supports where we have been with the masks, even though we don't like masks. But if you look at Richardson, for example, you'll see that Dr. Stone was facing enormous pressure on those counts. So Dr. Hinojosa will move on to do other things, but he'll be here for the rest of the year. The board will be conducting a search. We're looking at hiring a search firm next week. And the process may take anywhere from 5 months to a year. Dr. Hinojosa will stay on until the end of December or until we find another superintendent. Now, on the mask issue, I just wanted to go back to that for a second. The timeline is always a little bit in flux based on what the data shows, but Dr. Hinojosa has stated that we're hoping to lift the mask mandate when we come back from spring break. Now, the data has been very, very good in the last week or so, so it's possible it will be sooner, but it's also possible it will be after spring break, and just depends on what the data is. Certainly in our district, we have taken the more conservative approach in terms of trying to prevent the spread of the disease. I mean, people have strong opinions both ways, but that's where it stands now. And so with that, I'll turn it back to Lane, and thank you all for your efforts. We're going on 2 years of this pandemic, and it's I know it's a big strain on everyone, so I appreciate the way everybody has really stepped up. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you, sir. And so we're going to go right on over to Mr. Bott Principal Bott for some Bryan Adams updates. And not sure if he's going to be giving us a little discussion on extracurriculars at BA or his team, but we'll turn it over to him.
Yeah, no, thank you. And thank you all for being here tonight. I'm going to start with some updates for Bryan Adams, and then we're going to have some of our special guests here tonight be able to present to y'all on some of our extracurriculars, our programs. So it should be very exciting next 15 to 20 minutes. So first thing I wanted to give updates on our construction going here at Bryan Adams. It's really fun every single day to see one thing being done, the next thing being done, and you're starting to really see it take shape and form. So some of the most recent updates that I've received in terms of time, we're looking at late March for the access to the Fine Arts Center and then to our front of the school. So the front of the school is about 95% complete. We're waiting on those last pieces to be complete, and that should be open by the late March. And then our Fine Arts Center, that's going to be able to house, of course, you got your auditorium, but you got those elite spaces for theater, for choir, for orchestra, for band. That's going to be opening late March. Really, the plan is to be able to move in over spring break. So we're really excited about that. It's looking awesome. So here in a moment, Mr. Yerger, who is our assistant principal for fine arts, is going to be going over some really specifics about fine arts with y'all. We're looking at a May opening for a 2,000 seat gym. I have gotten together already with some coaches, and we're already starting to plan out our pep rallies. I think some of y'all had pep rallies when you were younger. Just imagine having 2,000 students in the gym, that thing rocking, right? And potentially doing that every Friday during advisory, talking about like teacher of the month, staff of the month, students of the month, things like that inside this pep rally, and really building up that spirit in that most amazing venue. So looking forward to that. We're going to have a ribbon cutting and open house once we receive more firm opening dates. I want to make sure we give the best one possible. So be looking out for that ribbon cutting and open house. We're really excited for y'all to experience these new parts of Bryan Adams. The next thing I want to go over is our Defense Day. So at the beginning of this presentation, y'all got to see an actual defense occurring. And right now you may be saying, you know what? I want to see it in person. Well, you have a chance to do that. Okay. So next Friday is our first defense. We're calling that our early Defense Day. And that's on February 18th. You have a chance of sitting on one or even more of our panels. I think it's really important that you can see defenses happening in front of you. And what helps is across the feeder pattern, we'll know from elementary all the way through high school what skills and knowledge and skills kids need in order to be successful on defense, and they can be successful in their college and career portfolio defense. It's going to help them, rocket them into the next parts of their lives after high school. So you have a chance of serving on one or more panels. So I'm going to be doing is I'm going to set a sign-up sheet in the chat. It's sitting there for you right now. I would love for each and every one of y'all to go serve on at least one of those panels. Okay. First off, you're going to see some amazing, amazing kids. Think about their what they've explored over the last couple of years. Mr. Mitch Gay touched on the pandemic, yet they're still thriving and still doing what they need to do in order to get in front of a panel of adults and truly defend that they are ready for the next step of their lives. So I just put that form in the chat. Please join us for this amazing day. Again, that's next Friday, February 18th. If it can only be for one panel, I understand. If it can be for all the panels all day long, we would love to have you. So the next portion of our presentation is really threefold. So we have Mr. Delgado here. If you don't know Mr. Delgado, he's an amazing science teacher here at BA. I got to go into his class the other day, super engaging, looking through models, kids really exploring science. He's going to be going over student activities. And then we're going to take a deeper dive into fine arts with our assistant principal, Mr. Yerger. And then last but not least, we're going to have a message from athletics with our assistant athletic coordinator, Coach Rivas, who also coaches basketball. So with that said, I'm going to hand this over to Mr. Delgado, who can start sharing his screen and talk to y'all about our student activities here at Bryan Adams.
Hello. Howdy, everybody. My name is Mr. Delgado. I teach chemistry at Bryan Adams. I am also an AP chemistry teacher, AP seminar, and AP research teacher, and I'm the student activities coordinator. I do all of these things because when I was in school, it was that teacher that always stayed, that extra hour that really made me appreciate what my teachers really do for me, and that is they invest time in us. And that's what I want our students to see. I want to see that we invest time in them so that they can go on and do what they're going to do. So I've been fortunate to be able to work with student activities over the last few years. And it's been challenging considering the pandemic, but really a lot of our teachers, a lot of our students have really stepped up and done a great job with it. So I have a little presentation just to kind of give you some highlights and show you the things that we have going on. First off, from just thinking about why this is so important to us at Bryan Adams, we want our school to be a place where everybody has a place. That's why we started advisories and these defenses several years ago. We wanted every student to feel like they had one person on this campus that cared about them, that they could talk to. And this extends to wanting them to have activities. So we really believe that activities promote positive student, parent, and staff culture. Having these activities is a chance for kids to interact with each other, with teachers to interact with them in a different way, and invites parents to kind of see what their students are doing. It helps those students build relationships. And really, a lot of our activities help these students with their skills for whatever it is they want to do in the future, be it college, career, or military. So kind of looking at it, it's kind of amazing when you sit down and you look at the data at the end of the year and you realize that there's over 40 to 50 different ways that students can engage. And it's a wide variety of categories that the district breaks this down via academic, athletic, service and leadership, visual and performing arts. And we even really encourage hobbyists to come and bring their hobbies and share it and build it. Here at BA, kind of our goal is freshman, sophomore year, go have fun, go try out a little bit of everything. We started a club a couple years ago that we call BA Con, which is just 6 or 7 clubs that get together and the kids get a chance to bounce around on a Friday evening and just kind of be part of anime, go play chess, go watch the kids playing video games. And it's just a way for them to hang out and build their communities. And you know, to really promote this going into their senior year or junior and senior year, we hope that they, you know, pick 1 or 2 that they really love and start taking those leadership roles. And for their senior defense, we actually encourage them to do one of their PAs, one of their performance assessments, is talking about how they were leaders in their organizations. You know, I'm really proud of my kiddos in esports who have taken their teams and become captains and have navigated this pandemic and managed how to keep us playing. Oh, I also coach esports, which is really cool. It's one of those things like lifelong dreams, play video games for part of your job. Our academics, you know, is really big. Right now, we are celebrating our mock trial team. They are on their ways to regionals this week. They're hoping to make it to state. They are top 4 mock trial team in DISD. Our ACDEC team just got through competing. We have our Destination Imagination team putting together their stuff. Our DECA team is looking for another trip to state. Really robust things that our kids can get involved in. And the goal with all our academics is let's take the stuff that you're learning in a class and apply it to something. If you love science, come check out Texas Math and Science. We're going to practice our science skills and we're going to take it so that you can be more ready for college and, you know, potentially earn those scholarships from organizations that are looking to promote students who want to do science, who want to do debate, who want to get involved in all these things. So really our academics is there. It's strong. The teachers who are involved with academics are top notch. They love being able to take their interests and run with it with the kids. Moving into our athletics, you'll have Coach Rivas talk more about this, but this is, I think, one of the hearts and souls of our campus. It keeps a lot of our kids engaged. I love how our athletes come in and, you know, they want to be involved in their sports. So when it comes down to it, they use it as a motivator. One of the things that we are trying to do is we're actually trying to bring even, you know, other sports in. I have a little star here by rowing because Dallas Crew United is actually really trying to see how they can get involved with getting some of our students involved with Dallas Crew. And so really athletics is a big part and one of the fun parts of our campus. And you'll feel the energy when we have those pep rallies of how excited everybody gets to celebrate our athletics. Service and leadership is a big part. We have our GSA, our Journeys, our JRTC, Link Crew, and Key Club. All of these organizations are here to help students find a way to give back to their community. GSA is really active in providing a safe space for our community here. They want to make sure everybody feels welcomed. Journeys is for our students who are coming to us from all over the world. They get a spot, they get a place where there are other people there that are going through the experiences they're going through. They're sharing those experiences. They build a family. Our Key Club members are some of the most giving members in probably all of DISD. These kids show up for every volunteer activity. And it's just so awesome to see what our students do to give back and how they love being involved with that. We do have the heart and soul, the other heart, the beat, our visual and performing arts. And, we'll have Mr. Yerger talk more on that, but what would BA be without the BA band, without the bells? The orchestra program has exploded over the last few years. It's amazing to see and come in and feel. And honestly, our art program is top notch. These kids are doing stuff that are mind blowing. And I'm so happy that they're here with us because I get to walk past these bookcases and these displays with some amazing art. It feels so awesome to see. And then, finally, again, our hobbies are something that we don't want to neglect. We want a kid to bring whatever it is that they love and do it here. You love playing Pokemon. My daughter's 6 right now and she loves playing Pokemon cards. Bring those Pokemon cards and we'll find other people who want to learn or play. Esports is a big thing right now for me because we are in the middle of competition. We just took first place in Super Smash Brothers. We took first place in Rocket League and DISD. So we're really excited. We'll have another one in March. But all of this is really just there because we want to invite everybody to find something. And if it's not here, then tell us what we need and we'll see if any other teachers are here. And it's what really makes this campus a place that I love being at. I've been able to hop in anime club. I've been able to go to board gaming. Our Dungeons and Dragons group last year and the year before were amazing. You'd go in there and you hear the stories and the worlds that they're building. And it's like, playing games, but they're learning how to talk to each other. They're learning how to socialize. They're sharing their passions with each other. And it's just so much fun. And so I really think that this is something that makes us stand out. I'm a product of DISD. I went to Townview. I was at SEM. And having gone through that, this is kind of what I missed. Having my ability to have a club for anime, have a group for chess. It's just so fun to see. So I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to keep promoting these things, and we'll keep growing this, and hopefully next year we'll have even more hobbies on here. I want to start a miniatures painting group at some point. We have a virtual reality club that's supposed to be starting at some point. Once we figured out how to get past the network stuff, we do have 7 VR headsets that we want to start a VR club with. And so it's just kind of exciting. So hopefully that is something that, you get a chance to see what we're doing, maybe take some of these and let the middle schools and elementary kids do them, and just let them know that when they get to high school, the world is really open to them to explore and do what they want to do. And that's kind of my bit.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Delgado. We're going to actually go to Coach Rivas, and he's going to talk a little about athletics, but then also talk about some possibilities of how our athletes can come to your campus. Coach Rivas, take it from here.
Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate the time. I'm sure you guys get my emails on Mondays that I send out to all of our feeder schools with the BA Athletics newsletter. So I really appreciate the feedback that I get from that, just to kind of keep you guys updated. I teach sociology here at Bryan Adams. It's my 7th year here. I'm the assistant athletic coordinator. I'm also the head men's basketball coach, along with the letterman coordinator. So man of a few hats. I am also a Dallas ISD product. So one of the reasons I'm so passionate about, the topic I'm about to speak about is I went to Orem Roberts Elementary School. I went to Jail Long Middle School, and then I went to Woodrow Wilson High School, graduated there 2003, and I played basketball throughout middle school, throughout high school. One of the reasons that I'm passionate about creating some excitement is really what this is about for us with our feeder schools, specifically in our elementary schools, is because that's what got me interested into playing basketball as a young elementary kid, is seeing those high school athletes come over to the elementary school and helping with carpool lanes, reading to us. That's kind of what got me started with being interested in joining a sport. So the biggest thing for us is how, one of the things we've been talking about with Mr. Bod and our athletics department and our coaches is, how do we create that excitement? How do we promote involvement at a young age? With a lot of our sports, a sport like basketball, for example, if you get involved in 7th and 8th grade, it's going to be a little bit, hard for you to catch up because it's such a sport that relies on skill. So for us, if you don't get involved at a young age, you're already behind the curbs as everybody else playing AAU basketball, playing year round. So one of the things that we're trying to do is get our kids excited at a young age. So one of the things we're looking to do is get your feedback on how we can help create that excitement with your kids. Some of the ideas we had is obviously the basic stuff, coming and reading to your kids, coming and help with the carpool lanes. Those are some of the basic things, but we don't want to just do it one time and then be gone. We want to do it on a consistent basis with you guys, where our athletes are developing relationships with our kids to where it evolves into maybe a tutoring program, a mentoring program, or maybe where our guys come over and lead character lessons, leadership lessons, helping with dismissal, moving on to community service, to where we come in, hey, our basketball team's coming over to clean up your campus today, and your elementary kids are going to help us with that, and eventually evolving into maybe having some sports academies to where our athletes, our basketball players, our football players, our soccer team, they're leading some of those sports specific academies with our kids throughout the year, just to kind of create that excitement. So that's really what this is about for us. It's just being involved on a consistent basis at our elementary schools, using our athletic groups, using our athletes and our coaches to come out and just kind of promote some of that excitement and promote some of that involvement. So that's kind of what we're about and what I'm looking forward to doing on a consistent basis. This is, we do a lot of this at the middle school level, but we want to really trickle down and get involved at our elementary schools. I think that would be huge for our young kids. So feedback is welcome.
Absolutely. And Coach Rivas, if you could go ahead and put your email address in the chat, and principals, assistant principals, designees here, if you could please go ahead and capture that and reach out to Coach Rivas, because as he said, we want to come to your school. I definitely want to start the carpool lanes. That's really a lot of fun. Or any other ideas that you have where we can engage with the kiddos on your campus. I think Rivas kind of touched on this, but he and I had a really great conversation this morning, and he said something that really stuck with me. He said he has freshmen right now, right? He has freshmen right now who remember when an athlete came to their campus in elementary school. Okay, they remember when it happened in middle school. So let's give our kids right now that experience so they know, hey, Bryan Adams is where I want to go, and B, this is the program that I want to be in. So that email address will be in the chat. So please reach out to Rivas as soon as possible so we can get that started for you.
Yeah, please do. And I appreciate it. Again, I put my cell phone on there too. Call me, text me. I'm, open and available to you guys. We want to get involved. Like I said, I want it to be consistent. And to us, this is kind of an extension of what we do in advisory with defenses, right? Allow our kids to do it, but do it in a topic where they're comfortable and in a setting where they're comfortable. So I think it'll be just a little bit different, an extension of what we're doing. So I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and just to stamp that point, our kids can through their defense, they can use what's called a practical leadership performance assessment. So the things that they do out there in the community, in this case, our basketball players can be able to go out there and really improve and show their leadership skills. They can actually use this within their defense presentation. So don't think of it as just something that we're assisting y'all. It's also helping us. It's helping our kids. It's helping them grow and mature into the leaders that we know they can be in our community. So last but certainly not least is Mr. Yerger. So we take our fine arts program very seriously here at Bryan Adams, to the point that this past year we created an assistant principal position where this is his main focus, is on the fine arts. So Mr. Yerger has a presentation and he's going to tell you more about Bryan Adams Fine Arts.
Good evening. Good to see everybody. All right, so I'm going to jump right into it. Just a couple quick updates. Again, thank you to Mr. Delgado for all that you do for our extracurriculars, some of our clubs and organizations. I'll speak a little bit to that here in a minute, but thank you, sir, for that, and Coach Rivas as well. Quick update, as Mr. Bott spoke to a few minutes ago, was our facilities. So as y'all can see that we're under a pretty big construction here as you drive by. I was able to do a really good extensive tour the other day, put on the hard hat and the vest and walk through, and got to see the band hall as it's coming underway, the new orchestra hall, these tall ceilings, beautiful facilities, floors, the murals going up on the wall that kind of has this legacy of BA, the alma mater, past photographs, and just really kind of get that history, but also have this kind of new, fresh, state-of-the-art facility as well. Black box theater, which we've never had, scene shop, costume shop, and a beautiful updated auditorium, but again, still kind of has that history and tradition of BA, but just with some updated pieces, really excellent experience for our students and our community members. So all that is underway. It's really beautiful. I can't wait for you guys to see it. So just to let you guys know, so we are under kind of the first year of kind of a 3-year vision. And that vision is to, one is to accelerate the learning of all of our students after COVID, right? So fine arts was really, the instruction online. We gave students great experiences during virtual learning, but nothing replicates the experiences with the teachers in the studios. And we're accelerating that all fall. And based on kind of where we're at right now, the instruction, the curriculum, the student products is just top notch. And I'm really excited where we're at in the school year, just February, and the type of instruction and student products that we're getting as we accelerated through that fall. I'm really excited. I do want to share our vision with everybody today for fine arts and how it kind of aligns with the vision of Bryan Adams High School. So our BA Fine Arts, our mission is that these elective programs provide students a space for creation, expression, and self-discovery through the arts using rigorous performance and project-based learning, really aligning with the studio experience, also aligning with defenses. We build relationships and foster an environment of wonder where students can utilize their unique talents, build confidence, and develop master skills they can use in any post-secondary environment. The one thing we kind of talk about in our department is we're going to find these kids and find their skills, find their talents, and develop them. I know I talked to Coach Rivas and Lawrence and Coach Faber, and we kind of, even though it's apples to apples sometimes, electives and fine arts, it's apples to oranges sometimes, but I think the goal for everybody is that we find kids and we lock them into these extracurricular opportunities. The statistics show, as to Mr. Delgado's point too, if they're involved in extracurricular, attendance is better, academics are better. Same thing with athletics and fine arts. We know attendance is better and academics is better as well. So this is really our mission. And I'm really happy to where we're at on our 3-year plan and our vision, where we're at, if not past where my expectations where we would be at in February. A few fine arts programs to talk a little bit more in detail. So we do have our marching band, our jazz band, our mariachi, our orchestra director, Mr. Ramirez. If y'all know him, he is a BA Feeder alumni. The orchestra is phenomenal. Mariachi is phenomenal. Right now they're located in our library because we don't have that orchestra hall built yet, but I get to hear them every day and sing. It's an amazing experience. Choir is a program that we're building from the ground, back up from the ground up. So we had choir at BA. We lost it for a few years, came back, but we have an excellent choir instructor. We have the right person to kind of take that choir program to the next level. Really the same thing with theater and technical theater, these new scene shop, costume shop, black box theater. We have 3 relatively new teachers, but our theater director is a veteran and he is phenomenal and he's the right person to kind of lead the charge for that. And I'm really excited for theater to be a pillar of this fine arts program within the next 3 years. And I strongly feel we have the right teachers and students in order to do that. 2D and 3D design, and Mr. Delgado said on that art bio hallway, we've been rocking and rolling. Even despite COVID, in online learning, we had the highest percentage of pass rate for 3D portfolio we've ever had, which is amazing to think that they're making sculptures at home and still achieve at a high level. Also with 2D design, we have 98 portfolios this year, which is the most in the district, not just at comprehensive high schools, but in the district. So that's with our magnet schools as well. So we have a robust 2D design program. We have Art 1 teachers that are dedicated to that lower level foundation and just build those skills up so that Mr. Thompson can take those 98 2D portfolio students and kind of push them towards success. I'm also going to bring in cheer. So I do have cheer this year. We have new coach, new assistant coach, and kind of the growth that has this year has been phenomenal. Dance Versity with Miss Skinner, which is our hip hop contemporary dance. And of course we have our bells and our JRTC as 2 strong pillars at BA. Okay, I want to also just kind of focus on that crest. I always like to focus on that BA crest because we do have fine arts included. So as we usher in these new facilities, that crest is there, and it's really what we do at BA also is consider these fine arts programs. My last slide here is really to kind of reach out to the school representatives here and to our community, and how we can help support each other in kind of this growth of our destination here at Bryan Adams High School. So our representatives for our feeder pattern schools, really consider these master schedules. We're in those critical conversations with master schedule right now. We're talking about special rosters. How do we recruit, retain the students in these programs? This is why they come to school. This is why they stay in these programs. Vertical alignment. I'm gonna give a shout out to Principal Macklin Ruiz. I'm really excited tomorrow to have a meeting with them to see how we can better vertically align and serve our fine arts students. So big shout out. Excited for that meeting tomorrow, and I'll be reaching out to some of the elementary schools as we think about how we can collaborate for fine arts events. Use Bryan Adams as a venue space, as a spot for our whole community, and to celebrate fine art student success. So really within your schools, in your elementary schools and the middle schools, just to remember to celebrate those students, recognize them, and keep them kind of talk about what they're doing circulating around your campus to kind of build that momentum that we'll need to usher in these new spaces. Also too, I'll be reaching out to some of the elementary schools. We're really aggressive this year on recruiting these kids, getting instruments in their hands. So a shout out to all the elementary schools and the middle schools that participated in our fine arts tour that we took back in December. I know it was great jumping around to some of the schools and hearing the band and orchestra and the choir perform. And for any of those schools that completed the interest forms, we're going to follow up with you and actually come down back to the elementary schools and pull some of those students that were interested and actually get an instrument in their hand and get them fitted with their mouthpiece and just kind of get that tactile experience of getting that instrument in hand, just further creating that buy-in. So if you see an email from Mr. Yerger, it's just that continue that buy-in and those experience for kids. Last but not least, our community members here, just to continue to assist in developing those interests in these programs. So whether that's shadowing a BA student, attending the fine arts events, those of you that came out to the Tempest in the spring with our outdoor theater, I thank you for that. And then just to kind of continue to push your students and to attend those professional productions and those showcases out in the community and some of those art venues that we have around the Metroplex. And again, I'll be reaching out to the community and kind of the feeder schools to kind of facilitate some of this collaboration. And then last but not least, again, my name is Mr. Yerger. If you need anything, my email and my personal cell as well, and I'm gonna drop that in the chat right now. Thank you so much for your time, guys. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Mr. Yerger, Delgado, and Coach Rivas. I really appreciate all three of y'all for being here. If you check out the chat, you're gonna be able to see that fine arts slide deck, as well as the student activities slide deck. Before I pass this one back over to Lane for the rest of our schools to present, I think it's really important, as I know that it's important as a feeder pattern, that there is that strong alignment, right? So part of that was at the beginning when I issued that challenge for certainly everyone here to be on at least one defense next Friday. So then you're going to start to see, okay, what is the end goal within our feeder pattern? But more than that, the other part of alignment, what you see from elite feeder patterns is there's alignment within your student activities. So within your sports, within your fine arts, et cetera, right? You now have access to see what all those look like. So we are now going into something very special. That's the master schedule season. In fact, I have a training on it tomorrow. I think middle school and elementary had it today. So I think the key is within the master schedules, how can we ensure that kids are getting the knowledge and skills that are going to help them once they get to Bryan Adams to succeed on a high level within the activity of their dreams. So again, I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. Looking forward to seeing what the rest of our feeder pattern has going on. Lane?
All right, fantastic update, guys. I want to share myself personal testimonial here. Like I said, I got a kiddo, a freshman at BA. I can attest that all three of these gentlemen and so many more of our teachers and principals are really doing a fantastic job. My son Luke, he's on the esports team. He got on and he's always been a gamer, but it really helped to kind of get him brought in with the BA community, something that he related to. So that was great to have a community there. And then also, Mr. Yerger has been really supportive on, we have some, we have an IEP and some 504 needs, and he was fantastic on supporting all that. So really great support there. And then last but not least, to Coach Rivas and to the baseball coaches, Coach Allison and Coach Enriquez. Luke actually tried out for baseball this year, which was crazy because, he, has not been involved in sports in quite a while. He has been involved in scouts, the old Eagle Scout pushing along. But, since we did a Little League team, the true Bad News Bears, about, K through 3 with this guy as the coach. And there weren't a lot in the win column there, but I guess, he had a buddy from Hill that was going out for baseball and talked him into come and try it. And the team has been nothing but welcoming, even though, he's probably the last guy on the bench. He's loving it. He's got a community. He's having fun. So thanks to the whole athletics department for instilling that kind of community for our new arriving kiddos that can find a place. So shout out to you guys. Thanks a lot. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on to our feeder school updates. Thank you principals for staying with us and fitting these presentations in, but we also really definitely want to give you guys time to give us your awesome updates, strategies for success. So we're going to kick it off with Gaston Middle School. Is a representative from Gaston?
Lane.
Yes.
This is Tina
Tina
Mercado.
Mercado. She's got
Miss
it.
Mockler had a previous meeting and she was trying to get 2 other people logged on. They're having difficulties getting logged
Perfect.
on.
We're lucky we have you.
DBA. She didn't send me anything to talk about. But I do want to give her a shout out because being a parent of students at Gaston Middle School, I have seen tremendous changes in the school year in the short time that she has been there. Safety is number 1 with her, and you can tell it is number 1. And so I really want to give her a shout out and let her know she's doing an amazing job, and she's very supportive and always available to answer anybody's questions, meet with a parent, resolve a problem. She doesn't put them off. So big shout out to Gaston for coming a long ways in a short period of time.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tina, for sharing that. We need to hear that. All right, going on over to Sanger K Preparatory School.
Good evening, Bryan Adams, Peter Pattern. Good to see y'all. This is Alex Merritt. So for the person who's talking about the struggles of kind of the Omicron wave and it being over, there was a time a couple of weeks ago where I was like, man, a teacher like showing up healthy and okay, like that's just such a win. And now that we're kind of on the other side of it, and like today, it's like almost every teacher was there. And it's one of those things I don't know if y'all are feeling the just like the deep breath of just like, all right, like we're here, we're back. And just like you walk in and you see like the whole hall of teachers there. I guess I just kind of wanted to throw that out there, but it's Sanger. I want to shout out to our spelling bee champions, because we've, I think, got both of them. You really just like, that's the highest honor a school provides, if I'm being honest. And then another one that I'm, fairly impressed with is we have a student, a 7th grader, whose art is being sent to Austin to be shown in the Capitol, representing Dallas ISD. And so I'm very, very proud of that. Yeah, just 2 kind of bright, or 3, I guess, just seeing all the teachers back, and just kind of those wins for those kids, just like focusing on those wins. It's a great time to be at Sanger.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate that update. All right, now turn it over to Hill Middle School, and I just saw Principal Ruiz join us.
Hello, thanks, Mr. Lane. Well, thank you guys so much. I wanted to thank you guys for your support. I know that we strive to be a community, and I really saw how our community came together. I know we did lose our beloved STEM teacher, Liana Singh, and just to see how our community came together and it continues to support our kids. Bob, thank you so much for your teachers that are coming out here and helping us. Mr. Fields has been working with our robotics team. We started this huge legacy of Hill, 40 trophies in the last couple of years. Our kids are going to Iowa. We've made it. And so I'm just so excited that we continue that legacy. Even when I walked in this afternoon, I was excited to see that the kids, he's like, these kids know what they're doing. They're doing great things. So I know we're committed to making sure that our STEM program continues. Her legacy will continue. So if anyone has any great candidates, please send them my way because we are currently looking. Those are big shoes to fill, but our commitment continues that we're going to make sure it continues strong and her legacy continues. So again, thank you for that. As said before, we are working on master schedule. I know we had parent meetings last night and this morning, and my big push to our parents and our community was choose your neighborhood school, choose our community. I feel that we've truly become a family together, and I know as we look at alignment, we want to make sure that we are all aligned to Bryan Adams, our school. So I was excited to see about choir. I know we put choir on our choice sheets this year to see if that's a possibility to get some interest in there. Shout out to the art. I know I have new art teacher. We already have, collaboration going with our art teacher with Bryan Adams, because again, we want to produce the very best students and give them the best opportunities. So again, thank you. Those are kind of our updates at Hill at this time.
Thank you. Swinging on over to Extra Elementary. I know Assistant Principal Mr. Hutchinson is on with us tonight.
Hi, everyone. So first off, I want to just kind of echo everyone's shouting out staff members. The ISD has really come together this past month for covering for everyone. And here at Hexter, we're a small school, and there was a week where we were missing about 1/3 of our staff every day. Huge shout out to Lane's wife for helping us out with lunch duties so much. We're able to weather it pretty well. I was actually really impressed. We were able to contact a lot of our retired teachers from Hexter and bring them in to sub. So most days we actually had full coverage, and just we're really grateful for the retired teachers for subbing for us. We had a couple rough ones, but I got a sub kindergarten one day, and that was totally fun. Just huge shout out to our staff. They're like the best staff I've ever worked with in my life. I just really, really appreciate them. Kind of here at Hexter, we're trying to, with the pandemic and everything, we really pride ourselves on being a community school. We know that this network really prides itself with all our events and programs to connect with the community. We're trying to really revamp that and build it back, and especially as the pandemic winds down. So some of our focus is really kind of getting back to some of the PTA events and some of the other events and our connections with PTA. We had a great AP listening session recently with over 50 parents. Again, we're a small school, coming and asking questions and giving feedback. We're trying to make a real big deal about our kinder roundup. Enrollment has declined a little bit in the past 2 years, and we're really trying to build that back up. So we're going to try to make a big event and really get as many of our community families to start in Bryan Adams feeder pattern from kindergarten. So that's something we're going to spend a lot of time and energy on. We're kicking off our big fundraisers. We have our silent auction coming up, which is always a big event with the community, a lot of parent involvement and volunteers, and we're just really appreciative of them. We have a diversity committee this year that is just working super hard to make sure that Hexter's demographically a very balanced school. It's a very heterogeneous school in terms of our populations. And so we're just trying to make sure everyone's represented. This month is obviously a big month with Black History Month, but it's also Lunar New Year. Our diversity committee does a great job. We have lanterns that the parents helped make for Lunar New Year. We have a lot of displays on Black History Month, and a lot of actual lessons in our classrooms going on around those things as well. Hexter, we're really just trying to strengthen our ties to our parents, who are one of our biggest assets, and get everyone in on this feeder pattern starting at kindergarten.
All right, thank you so much. Moving on to Keast Elementary and Principal Rubio.
Good evening, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. I want to start a shout out to Mr. Ball. Mr. Ball, every time I hear your presentations, they always motivate me and make me proud to be part of the Bryan Adams feeder pattern. And it makes me proud that my students, when they go to high school, they're going to go to one of the best high schools. So I did want to give you a shout out to that. I'm going to give 2 updates. First one on our staff culture. We're really embracing the notion that we have to take care of our people, and that's our staff. So this 4-day winter storm that came at the right time. It was the best EL activity that I could do. But I'll highlight 2 activities we're doing for teachers this week. Every Wednesday, we have something called Wellness Wednesdays. And so we give them breakfast treats in the morning. And if they don't have time to make it, we go cover the class. The leaders go cover the classroom for about 5 minutes while they go, and they get to socialize in the library with coffee and muffins. That's what we had this morning. So the teachers really enjoy that. Then in our POCs today for our SEO activities, I bought little Valentine chocolates and for my staff, and I told them to pick 3 chocolates. They had to pick one for themselves to enjoy, 1 to give to a peer at Keast, and 1 to give to a family member at home. And they loved it. It was really small, but those type of activities, that's how we're taking care of our staff, our people, our adult people at Keast. One student culture thing I do want to highlight is I'm really pushing a growth mindset in the 7 habits of successful people. That with the growth mindset, no excuses mindset, champion mindset, we can overcome everything. Specifically when it comes to assessments, I have like a different, usually unconventional viewpoint when it comes to assessments. I embrace assessments because if I really want my children, Keast children, to enter the middle class to improve their quality of life, then they have to do their best on assessments. And it starts from elementary. I don't want my students leaving elementary with anxiety and stress over assessment. So this week, our 4th graders are taking the STAR field test. Then tomorrow they're taking the National Assessment of Educational Progress, the NAEP test. And our 4th graders are so excited about it. And I love the feeling, the excitement they have over a test, because we really have to embrace the test and not look at it as a burden or something they must do. I tell my teachers really directly, if whatever you're feeling about the assessments, if you want to change it, you need to be a policymaker or a politician. But as a K-12 educator, we have to show that assessments are part of the system, part of the process. If they want to improve their quality of life or enter a professional life, to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be a teacher, we all have to take tests. And why that's not the only way, that's just one way, a majority of way to enter the professional middle class. And so I'm so excited to say that my 4th graders, instead of taking these saying, oh, it's one more test, they're excited about the STAR field test, and they took yesterday and they're taking NAEP tomorrow. I'm happy to share that part. So we're doing great things at Keast. We're laser focused on instruction and taking care of our people. And thank you for having me.
Of course, Principal Rubio, thank you so much. All right, moving on to Riley Elementary and Principal O'Neill.
Good evening, and thank you for having me here this evening at DBA. I'm excited to share some great things happening at Riley. Principal Bond, I just want to say thank you for sharing out the student activities and all the great things that are happening at Bryan Adams. I know we haven't been on, but in December, the band came to perform for our elementary students, and it was really an exciting time. And so I'm really excited to hear that there are going to be some more opportunities where the high school students can come down and really be able to interact with our elementary students and show them what's to come on their track to going to Bryan Adams. And so thank you for allowing the band to come and perform at Riley. What's going on at Riley? As far as our staff culture, next week we are celebrating our We Love Our Riley Teacher and Staff Week. It's put on by our PTA, and there's all kinds of activities and treats that we're going to be providing, the PTA will be providing for our staff. We're also working a lot with SEL for our staff members. We know that in order to take care of our children, we have to take care of ourselves. So Also, we're doing some activities on campus just to really make sure that self-care is remains at the forefront for our staff so that we can be the best that we can be for our children. As far as student culture and climate, we are going to be really celebrating our students. As Principal Rubio talked about, the students taking ownership of their learning. We're really focusing on progress monitoring and goal setting with our students so that they can really take ownership of where they're going. And we have some great incentive programs coming up for students who are actually meeting those goals. So we're going to unveil that at our Riley Rally on Friday, and so we're excited about that. And we are really excited. For the first time, I don't know, but I don't think Riley has had a DI team in the past. So we actually have our first DI team, and so we're so excited. They've been working really hard, and they have their first competition this Saturday. So we're really excited about that. Thank you for having me tonight.
Yes, thank you again. Appreciate that that great update on Raleigh. All right, moving on down to Larry Smith. Do we have a representative tonight?
Yes. Hi, everyone. This is Ms. Gutierrez. I'm one of the assistant principals. And thank you for everyone for sharing. We are also celebrating a few items here at our school. We have the Principal of the Year, Ms. Morris. She was the principal selected by all the principals in the band network. So we're so excited to have Ms. Morris as the Principal of the Year. We also, a couple of weeks ago, we hosted the robotics competition also at Larry Smith. Thank you everyone for attending and participating. Our kids were excited. I was witnessing all the excitement and learning. Also, today we had 8 teachers out for a good reason. They attended the TCEA conference and exposition at the K. Billy Hutchinson Convention Center, and they're learning a lot about technology, and they're going to bring it back to our campus. So we're very excited about that. We also are hosting our book fair on starting next week. So that's another big push for reading. Also, coupled with that, this week we're having the reading week with activities that are daily in order to promote reading in the classroom and also at home. So those are some of the big efforts that we are promoting at our campus. And I believe that pretty much covers what we're doing. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so moving on to Gill Elementary and Principal Roberson.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chandra Robertson, principal at Charles A. Gill Elementary. Just a few highlights and updates. First and foremost, I do have to give a shout out to my staff. And I just say that simply because I'm very fortunate with pretty awesome staff. We did not take as big of a hit as I heard in a lot of cases when it came to COVID. We had the 1s and the 2s out, but even in those cases, like I really saw my staff step up, help each other, really protect themselves, our scholars, and just be in defense. And they've been on point coming to work. So that is something that I have to celebrate. We're doing little gifts and chocolates and little fun carts for them just to celebrate their presence. And then I always say I appreciate them showing up and showing out, because they're not just coming to work, but they're also making sure that our scholars are growing, which takes me to the numbers and just some of our assessments. We are steady on an increase, so I want to celebrate that as well. My teachers and scholars are doing a really fabulous job closing the gaps when it comes to a lot of our assessments. We're trying to work, rock and roll. We're getting things going. So yes, we still have a ways to go, but I'm just proud of the work that they're doing. I'm proud to be a Bulldog because I just really see the efforts from my entire campus. Some of the things that I'll be happy to see come to an end will be construction. Hopefully some of our spaces will be getting completed soon. Although a lot of our timelines have been missed and are pushed back, we're looking forward within the next month to our administration spaces to be open. So just those new office spaces, getting a new entryway, just for the building to be more welcoming. Right now, it looks like we're under construction. So sometimes it's difficult to keep it nice and clean and homely looking. So we're working really hard to do that. So I personally will be jumping for joy when we finish that construction hurdle. Some other cool things, we are doing a lot of celebrations with the house system. Our scholars are just super excited about the house system and their rewards. I think that's what's prompting them to do a little bit better when it comes to our assessments, as well as their attendance. We've seen improvements in those areas, but it's because of the house treats. We are going to, as spring approaches and hopefully as COVID continues to decline, we are looking at doing some different little dances on the blacktop and different things like that to celebrate the scholar's success. So that is something that we are definitely looking forward to. And then lastly, just really focusing on the achievement side. I love the work that we're doing with the Arboretum. That partnership is really, really awesome. We see the improvement in our scholars and they get into it. They love the hands-on, they love being engaged and being interactive with it all. So those are just a few highlights. I could keep going in some more areas, but I think those are the top ones that I would like to share tonight. And thank you for having me as well.
Thanks again, Principal Robertson. All right, switch back there. Okay, moving on to Reinhardt Elementary. Do we have a representative tonight? All right, moving on to Bales Elementary. I saw Principal Kennedy is here with us.
Great evening. I'm the proud principal of Bales Elementary, and we are so excited. Big thank you to BA for having your fine arts department out at Bales as well. They really, our fifth graders are going to just love being a part of the fine arts department. So I know they'll be going that direction as they head into middle school so that they can join those programs when they get to high school. So thank you for coming out and providing us with those programs. I want to focus a little bit, want to shout out also, I don't want to repeat too much, but we have had a lot of absences. We had as many as 11 staff members out in a week, but we didn't miss a beat. So I'm very proud our teachers took students in. We split classes. We were able to get some subs in. And we even had someone that came out from the network, but we didn't need them. So we were able to continue with instruction. So we're very proud to be able to continue to focus on achievement with our students. Some of the things that are happening at Bales, we had our house celebrations and our students were so excited to be a part of that. We have wildly important goals in place. So our campus has a goal, every classroom, every section, and the students, and they're tracking and building agencies so that they can be in control of their own lives and their own learning. So we're very excited about that as a part of our leadership efforts. So they have their leadership portfolios and we're looking at what BA is doing and we're thinking about actually doing something similar for our fifth graders. So we're pretty excited about the direction that we're going. We've celebrated our 100 days of school. I'm sure everybody did. And one of the things I do want to mention is we have our Parent Academy where our parents are going to be certified in SEL. And we have about 3 more sessions that we're working with. We have one on the 25th. So it's very exciting to have our parents engaging in social emotional learning and being able to take that home and also share it with other parents. And of course, we're also celebrating Black History Month with something planned every week. We actually have a Black History program planned at the end of the month as well. Career Day is coming. That's going to be on the 18th. And we're building our relationships with our partnerships. We actually receive coats for every student from the East Dallas Exchange Club. And it was very much needed. We did have students who needed coats. So we're building relationships with them as well. I could go on and on. We're working with Junior Achievement. also with the Arboretum, and we're have a laser focus on instruction. So those are some of the great things that are happening at Dallas.
All right, thank you again. All right, and moving on, last but certainly not least, Casa View Elementary.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Excuse me, my name is Chaz Humphrey, one of the assistant principals at Casa View Elementary, and I am here to represent Casa View and Ms. Anazola, who was unable to be here this evening. I don't know if I can share a screen, but I'm gonna try. Okay, I can. And it's just really just a couple of pictures of, let me move this over just a second, some of our students, because they are the backbone of what we do on a daily basis. So of course, one of the things that we are well known for is our robotics program, and we are still doing well in that area. Our Lady Bots just actually won a competition where they had to create some sort of poster, and this is what they created here on the left-hand side. So, you know, we have staff that are truly dedicated to really bolstering our robotics clubs, and they're just so dedicated. They spend a lot of time on it, and so we're really just proud of them and the work that they continue to do. We also have other clubs this year which are flourishing. One of our clubs is the Garden Club, and so Casa View has an empty space in the middle of the school, and not too long ago that it was filled with like fire ants. It was just not the best place to go. Everybody hated going out there. There was, you know, old plant vases with like old dingy water. And so really the Garden Club has really transformed that space. And how do I know that they transformed that space? Is because we have a lot of classrooms who are, the teachers are wanting to have their lessons in this space now. And so we have a lot of our clubs that are thriving, and they're just starting to grow and to expand. And it's just wonderful to see that space being utilized. One of our house competitions was just hosted in that area 2 weeks ago. And it was really great to see everybody just being able to kind of let their hair down and just have a lot of fun. And as you guys know, the teachers have just as much fun as the students. I mean, they were playing their hacky sacks and everything like that. So that was a great experience. One of our teachers was just nominated, I believe yesterday, and was awarded it's called the Cowboys Class Act. So they really wanted to recognize the teacher for their talent. And the teacher will have some sort of visit from a former Cowboy player coming up soon. So these are just some of the things that we are investing in. We have chess club, we have car. We just started an announcement club. As well as the media club, and what they're responsible for is leading the campus. It's our 5th grade students. They're leading the campus on the morning announcements on the intercom, and then on Friday they get on the Zoom and they lead everybody with the announcement. So a lot of things that are going on in terms of student culture, for staff culture, just as you guys were saying. Really trying to give, you know, teachers, you know, treats here and there. We have a few things planned for Valentine's Day. We have a bulletin board where we're encouraging staff to write encouraging notes to one another, and really trying to utilize the February, the Love Month, to spread that love around in the staff culture. But not only just the kind of trinkets and little gifts and candies that we can give them, but really giving them a space to kind of come and talk to us. We are really happy that we have built up a trust with our teachers to where they can come and just say, hey, Ms. Humphrey, I mean, it is a day, and just come and vent with us, because we do know that helps when you feel like you're being heard and you have somebody to talk to. It also helps the way that you teach, the way that you perform, the way that you go to work, right? So we are providing those listening ears to our staff members at this time. And we love our staff members. I mean, they are the best. As you guys know, many of them have been there for 20 years, 30 years. We have 10 teachers that have that amount of veteran status. And so being able to work with them and being able to have that trusting relationship is really such a positive win. But at the same time, we also have a lot of our operational things still happening. So as you guys mentioned, the NAPE and the Star Field and all those things are still going on. So we have not taken our foot off the instructional pedal. It is still there. And so even within our POCs, I think get my days mixed up, but it was yesterday. We had a veteran teacher in our math POCs, and they said that they were, for their lessons next week, they have decided to utilize 2 different manipulatives. And I'm going to say that with pride, because that is not the easiest thing to get people to do, is to transform, sometimes the way that they teach. So I was really happy to hear that. I'm happy to go and see those lessons in the classroom, because that is what translates into student growth. When we talk about their goals, it really goes back to what that instruction looks like within the classroom. So we have not taken our pedal off of that, and expect to see strong scores coming out of Casa View. I feel like we always figure out a way to deliver, and we're going to continue to do so. So those are all the things that are happening. Lots more, but I'll go ahead and turn it back to you guys.
All right, great update. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. All right, so that brings us that I think rounds out all of our school updates. And thank you for everyone for staying in and being here. I know these meetings have gotten longer than the past, but I think we all agree these presentations are really helping out to bolster our meetings and invite more folks to come and join us and see what we have going on. So I want to turn it over to our community updates. Anybody from the community that would like to share anything, with this time is open for you. I'll kick it off. I know if she's still on, that Michelle Whitaker, who you all know was also along with Tina Mercado and Tita Pachan, some other folks here, was a founding DBA member in getting this thing started. You may not know, but Michelle is our president of I believe, of the Bryan Adams Alumni Association, and she may have a quick update or two for us.
Hey guys, I'm Michelle Whitaker. Sorry, I am driving. I feel like I'm either getting a kiddo to somewhere or picking up a kiddo from somewhere or driving, but I'm always listening and I'm always on. Just want to say, I am in the process of applying for a new 501c3 nonprofit status for the BA alumni organization. Unfortunately, the organization has been somewhat dormant for the last several years, but we are really looking at breathing a fresh new life into it, and revamping the organization. We have a new building, and so I feel like it's a great time to have a robust alumni organization and have new members, with lots of events, a lot more social media presence, and really the goal of supporting all of our students and, continuing to support our community. I have a great little group of BA alumni that have been really supporting me. I've met with Principal Bott several times and some of the Bryan Adams staff. And so we're just kind of plugging along and coming up with ideas on how we can revamp, and kind of the beginning of that process is reapplying for our nonprofit status, rewriting the bylaws, and kind of starting at the ground level. But we are super excited to be doing this. And if there's any alumni that would love to join the club, we would love to have you. I've got a 6th grader and an 8th grader at Hill, which means next year I will have my firstborn at Bryan Adams, which I'm super excited to have Preston walking those same halls that I did, the same halls that my mother did. However, I'm feeling a little old now. But anyway, please, just kind of, I'll keep in touch with everyone, and please look for updates on the progress in the coming weeks as we kind of move this along. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Michelle. Any other community members that would like to share an update, or it could be any staff, anyone except the principals that had a chance to give their updates?
Blaine, I'd like to reflect on Larry Smith for a minute. I think Mr. Davis is still on here. I wanted to let Ms. Morris got told today, but I wanted to let Mr. Davis know as well in the DBA community that Larry Smith got an award each month since August from the state Texas PTA. And I'm very, very happy to know that. So I got the news today. So I appreciate Smith for all your support. Keep it up. We have wonderful teachers over there. Also, Mr. Shannon, I want to say thank you to you. You put this together, you made this happen, and we have come a long ways with your help, and we greatly appreciate it. We've seen many people come and go, and we've seen many, you know, come back and stay with us. So a huge shout out to you, a huge shout out to Tita for always being there and being a support system for me when I needed it the most. And I would also like to give a shout out at a staff member at Bryan Adams High School. Actually, two of them. I think the first one, her name is Miss Serrano. I met with her a few weeks back and she gave me some really good information. And I also want to thank Mr. Yeager for his support that he gave me during a time when I really needed it. He really stepped up to the plate without even knowing who I was or who my children were. So I appreciate y'all very, very much. And I look forward to continuing with the Bryan Adams feeder pattern. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Tina.
Yes, thank you, Tina, so much. And we appreciate all that you've done. You again, it's unbelievable how much you've reached throughout this feeder to support your kids, your grandkids at all of our schools across the way. So thank you again to you and again to Tita and everyone that does so much for the feeder. We appreciate it. Any last other updates from anyone? Okay, well, if there's anybody, I'll give you a couple more seconds. Anybody want to jump in, just cut me off. But just want to, in closing, thank again Mr. Bott and his team for a fantastic presentation. I think these have been incredible. You guys have seen that little red light recording throughout this, so I will be sharing this out onto the DBA page. I also want to say, hey, talk to a friend about joining DBA. We are 2 people I know stay away from the big 1,000 members on the Facebook group. So that's pretty cool, pretty amazing. 998 at last check. So with that, I will turn it back over to you guys for your evening. Again, thank you for giving us so much of your time tonight. We're going to plan to meet on the second Wednesday again next month, March 9th. March 2nd is your former president, Vicki Shannon's birthday, the big 5-0, by the way. And so I'm sure we'll be at a dinner that night or somewhere else. So
okay, Lee, we see where your priorities are.
Right, that's right. Hey, come on, we all have to have those priorities. Everyone knows with the special ones in our life. So anyway, March 9th, let's look at that if that works for everyone. Mr. Bott, I'll work with you on and the other EDs on a presentation idea for that night. We'll get that promoted. All right, with that, I'll turn it back to you guys for your evening. Thanks again. Appreciate you all. Have a good evening.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening. Great to see you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Thanks again.